Those who are on the level of hogs and dogs will never appreciate such a great attempt. Yet this does not matter to the preachers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, for all over the world they will continue to perform this responsible work, even though persons who are like cats and dogs do not appreciate them. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 117. So I'll leave it as page 3 to remember that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, Text 23.
Yes.
Okay. Ayam cha tasya stiti palana shanaha satvam yushanasya bhavaya dehinam tasmad vrajamaha sharanam jagatgurum swanam sa no dasyate sham surapriyaha ayam chatasya stitapalanakshana Satvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajama Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Sanodasyate Shamsura Priyaha Ayam Chatasya Stitipalanashana Satvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajamaha Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Sanodasyate Shamsura Priyaha Ayam Chatasya Stitipalanakshana Satvam Juyanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajamaha Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Sanodasyate Shamsura Priyaha Satvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajamaha Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Janodasya Shanam Surapriyaha Ayam Chatatasya Stitipalanakshana Satvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajamaha Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Sanodasyate Shamsura Priyaha Ayam Chatasya Shishtapalanakshana Satvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam Tasmad Vrajamaha Sharanam Jagadguru Swanam Sanudasriti Shamsura Priya. I am this period. Ja also. Dasya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Stiti Pal Nakshana. The time for maintenance of establishing his rule. Sattvam, the mode of goodness. Jushanasya, accepting now without waiting. Bhavaya, for the increased development or establishment. Dehinam, of all living entities who accept material bodies. Tasmat, therefore. Vrajamaha, let us take. Sharanam, shelter. Jagat Gurum, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the universal teacher. Swanam, his own persons. Saha, he, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Naha, unto us. Dasyate, will give. Sham, the good fortune we need. Surapriya, because he is naturally very dear to the devotees. Translation. Now is the time to invoke the mode of goodness of the living entities who have accepted material bodies. The mode of goodness is meant to establish the Supreme Lord's rule, which will maintain the existence of the creation. Therefore, this is the opportune moment to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is naturally very kind and dear to the demigods. He will certainly bestow good fortune upon us. Please repeat. Now is the time to invoke the mode of goodness of the living being entities who have accepted material bodies. The mode of goodness is meant to establish the Supreme Lord's rule, which will maintain the existence of the creation. Therefore, this is the opportune moment to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is naturally very kind and dear to the demigods. He will certainly bestow good fortune upon us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The material world is conducted by the three modes of nature, namely Sattva Guna, Raja Guna, and Tama Guna. By Raja Guna, everything material is created. By Sattva Guna, everything material is maintained properly. And by Tama Guna, which, when this creation is improperly situated, everything is destroyed. From this verse, we can understand the situation of Kali Yuga, through which we are now passing. Just before the beginning of Kali Yuga, or in other words, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Lord Shri Krishna appeared and left his instructions in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in which he asked all living entities to surrender unto him. Since the beginning of Kali Yuga, however, people have practically been unable to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. And therefore, after some 5,000 years, Krishna came again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to teach the entire world how to surrender unto him, unto Sri Krishna, and thus be purified. Surrendering unto the lotus feet of Krishna means achieving complete purification. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 18:66, Sarva dharma prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham stam sarva papebhyo mokshayami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Thus, as soon as one surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, one certainly becomes free from all contamination. Kali Yuga is full of contamination. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 12:351. Kale dosha nide rajan asti he eko mahaguna kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vraja. This age of Kali is full of unlimited faults. Indeed, it is just like an ocean of faults, dosha nidhi. But there is one chance, one opportunity. Kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vraja. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga, and in his original spiritual body can return home, back to Godhead. This is the opportunity of Kali Yuga. When Krishna appeared, he gave his orders, and when Krishna himself appeared as a devotee, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed us the path by which to cross the ocean of Kali Yuga. That is the path of the Hare Krishna movement. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he ushered in the era for the Sankirtan movement. It is also said that for 10,000 years, this era will continue. This means that simply by accepting the Sankirtan movement and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga will be delivered. After the Battle of Kurukshetra, at which Bhagavad Gita was spoken, Kali Yuga continues for 432,000 years, of which only 5,000 years have passed. Thus, there is still a balance of 427,000 years to come. Of these 427,000 years, the 10,000 years of the Sankirtan movement, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, can provide the opportunity for the fallen souls of Kali Yuga to take to the Krishna consciousness movement, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and thus be delivered from the clutches of material existence and return home back to Godhead. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is potent always, but it is especially potent in this age of Kali. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami, while instructing Maharaj Parikshit, stressed this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Kale dosha nide rajan astihe eko mahaguna kirtana devat krishnasya mukta sangha parambrit vrajet. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. It is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Bhagavatam 12:351. Those who have accepted the task of spreading the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in full Krishna consciousness should take this opportunity to deliver people very easily from the clutches of material existence. Our duty, therefore, is to follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preach the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world very sincerely. This is the best welfare activity for the peace and prosperity of human society. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement consists of spreading Krishna Sankirtan. Param Vijayati Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Why is it so glorious? This being explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jeto Darpana Marjanam. By the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one's heart is cleansed. The whole difficulty is that in this age of Kali, there is no sattva gun and no clearance of the heart, and therefore people are making the mistake of identifying with their bodies. Even the big philosophers and scientists with whom we deal are practically all under the impression that they are their bodies. The other day, we were discussing a prominent philosopher, Thomas Huxley, who was proud of being an Englishman. This means that he was in the bodily conception of life. Everywhere we find this same misunderstanding. As soon as one is in this bodily conception of life, one is nothing but an animal like a cat or a dog. Saeva gokara. Thus, the most dangerous of the dirty things within our hearts is this misidentification of the body as the self. Under the influence of this misunderstanding, one thinks, I am this body, I am an Englishman, I am an Indian, I am an American, I am Hindu, I am Muslim. This misconception is the strongest impediment, and it must be removed. That is the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita and of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, Bhagavad Gita begins with its instruction. Dehosmin yatha dehe komaran yovanam jara, tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuyate. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Although the soul is within the body, nevertheless, because of misunderstanding and animal propensities, one accepts the body as the self. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Jeta Darpana Marjanam. To cleanse the core of the heart, which is full of misunderstanding, is possible only through Shri Krishna Sankirtan. The leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement should very seriously take this opportunity to be kind to the fallen souls by delivering them from the misunderstanding of materialistic life. One cannot be happy in any way within this material world, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartirno arjuna. From the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. Therefore, not to speak of going to the moon, Even if one is promoted to the highest planetary system, Brahmaloka, there cannot be any happiness in this material world. If one actually wants happiness, one must go to the spiritual world. The material world is characterized by a struggle for existence, and survival of the fittest is a well-known principle. But the poor souls of this material world do not know what is survival and who's fit. Survival does not mean that one should die. Survival means that one should not die, but should enjoy an everlasting, blissful life of knowledge. This is survival. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to make every person fit for survival. Indeed, it is meant to stop the struggle for existence. The Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita give definite directions on how to stop the struggle for existence and how to survive in eternal life. The Sankirtan movement, therefore, is a great opportunity. Simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, one becomes completely purified. Thus, the struggle for existence ceases and one goes back to Godhead. Om Jnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I think Srila Prabhupada's already given the class. It's a really appropriate class for the marathon. I think we should take a note of this verse in purport because it's really suitable for marathon, isn't it? So here, in this verse in purport, Lord Brahma, I think it's Lord Brahma that's speaking, and he's explaining that for establishing the Supreme Lord's rule, the mode of goodness is meant for that, so which will maintain the existence of the creation. So creation is Rajagun is responsible for creation because it's a mode of passion. And Tamagun is in control of destruction of the universe. But the maintenance is by the mode of goodness. And this is to establish the Supreme Lord's rule. And we can see in the material world, as in Kali Yuga today, there's very little mode of goodness. It's all either Rajagun or Tamagun. It's all about creation and destruction. So everywhere we see this creation taking place of buildings and then destruction of buildings. They keep creating buildings and just demolishing buildings all the time. So they're not really interested in mode of goodness because that's for maintaining, and not just for maintenance, but to establish the Supreme Lord's rule. This is actually the purpose of the mode of goodness. And the mode of goodness, Krishna describes that in the Bhagavad Gita, that all the different things that are in the mode of goodness. Our eating should be in the mode of goodness, our speech should be in the mode of goodness, our actions should be in the mode of goodness. Everything we do should be in the mode of goodness, which will actually help us attain knowledge and freedom from this material world. Also, of course, we have to rise above the mode of goodness to come to the mode of pure goodness, which is transcendental. But we can't jump from the mode of ignorance to the mode of pure goodness. We have to actually rise from the mode of ignorance to the mode of passion, then to the mode of goodness, and then elevate ourselves to the mode of pure goodness. So we are, in the Krishna consciousness movement, we're trying to come to the point of the mode of goodness at least, and then rise to mode of pure goodness. And Prabhupada is describing here that although this Kali Yuga is full of faults, Kale doshe niderajan astihi eko mahaguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha paramvrajat. That the age of Kali is full of unlimited faults. It's like an ocean of faults, dosha nidhi. But there's one opportunity that we can actually get free from this contamination of Kali Yuga, and that is by kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha paramvrajat. That simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra specifically, then one can get free from this contamination of Kali Yuga and return to the spiritual world in an original spiritual body. And this is actually the opportunity of Kali Yuga that's given us. It's like when people are so degraded, then it's not easy for them to perform all the austerities that's described for the other ages. It's just not possible. People haven't got the long life, they haven't got the attention span, they haven't got the desire to perform austerities, they haven't got much desire for anything except trying to enjoy their senses. So in this day and age, the best recommended process so that it has a very quick and powerful effect, which is very potent and fast acting, is chanting the holy names. And we can see that with our own selves, with people that come to Krishna consciousness, how quickly, just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, they kind of lose all their old habits, their bad habits, their desire to try to enjoy this material world, and they quickly become clean and quickly become take up devotional service to Krishna. It's such a potent system, a potent process compared to the other processes of other ages. So Krishna, at the end of Kali Yuga, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita so that we could have this for the Kali Yuga, because it's only 700 verses, and in that 700 verses is the essence of the Vedas. All the Vedas, the essence of it is that we're not this body, we're spirit, soul, and we are actually eternal servants of Krishna. So this is actually all described in the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. In such a short space of time, we can actually understand the essence of the Vedas. And then we have the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam it's amazing, because I just read the other day that at the end of the first canto, Maharaj Parikshit asks two questions. One is, what is the process, what is the duty of somebody who, in all circumstances in life? And the other question was, what is the duty of someone who's just about to die? So these two questions, Prabhupada says, practically the whole Bhagavatam is dealing with these two questions. And the answer is devotional service to both questions, is devotional service of Bhakti Yoga. So the whole process of Bhakti Yoga starts with hearing and chanting, and the Hare Krishna mantra is the means and the end. Basically, it's the process, it's the means and the end. So even at the end, the holy name is the process continued on in the spiritual world. So this is actually the process we've been given in this day and age. So the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam is basically giving us the essence of what we need to do is Bhakti Yoga. So even within the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita as surrender to Krishna and always think of Krishna, perform Bhakti Yoga. So this is the essence. And Bhagavatam elaborates on this process through different pastimes, through different stories. And Maharaj Parikshit in the beginning, at the end of the first canto, he says, what is it that I should hear? What should I chant? What should I speak about? Who should I worship? And what should I not do? So these are the things that we should be asking. What is the process by which we can attain perfection? And Prabhupada describes that although Krishna came 5,000 years ago, he gave us the process that we have to surrender to him. But we can see that, Prabhupada said in the beginning, people have practically unable to surrender to Krishna in Kali Yuga. So then Krishna came again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show us how to do it. And how he showed us how to do it is by the Sankirtan movement, by this Harinam Sankirtan, by giving Krishna consciousness to others through the chanting of the holy names. Then this is the process which will purify us and will purify others. And the more we give to others, the more we will feel the mercy coming to us. So this is the process. And this is the way we can be for self-purification. So Sankirtan is not just, it's for self-purification and for purifying others. And yesterday, although sometimes I wasn't getting people to stop or give a donation or anything or take a book, I was asking them to chant Gauranga, because I was thinking, by just that, if they can just chant the holy name once, then all their sinful reactions will be cleared. It's like such a powerful, potent way. They'll be chanting without offense. They're going to get so much mercy by just chanting that holy name, even just once. And then that will purify them for the next time they will get the opportunity to get a book. They will be purified enough to take the book. So when we're on Sankirtan, the more we're getting people engaged somehow or another, even if they don't take a book, even if they don't give a donation, even just get them to chant the holy name, that will actually help them so much. And yesterday, I just actually felt so blissful just by doing that, even although I was maybe distributing so many books or collecting so much lecture, but I just felt this bliss that actually I'm doing the right thing. I'm getting people to, engaging them and chanting the holy names. And that's what we're supposed to be doing in this day and age. We're supposed to be getting people to chant the holy names. And with the holy names, we can ask them to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, but they may not be so inclined because it's longer, and they may not be so inclined because it's some sort of religious thing. But Gauranga is so easy for people to chant, and we just tell them it means be happy. And the other day, I was in Glasgow, and I got one boy, he didn't have any money, he couldn't take a book. And then I just asked him to say Gauranga, and he says, Gauranga, what is that? So I gave him a sticker, but I didn't have our stickers. I had the stickers from Hungary, which are round stickers with a sun, and it had Hungarian words on it. And he was asking me, what it says on it, Baldock's mantra or something. I said, oh, actually it's a mantra, but it brings about happiness. And he was like, really, a mantra? I said, yeah, the more you chant it, the more happy you become. And he was like, wow. So he was like really interested in that. So he just took the sticker, but that's actually what he got. And I was thinking, actually, that's going to purify him for the next time he will want to take a book. He will want to give a donation. So this is our mission. It's not just that we're just like focused on one thing. We're trying to engage people as much as we can. So as many people as you can get to chant the holy names, the more purified the atmosphere will become. And the more easier it will be for them to take a book the next time and give a donation the next time. So this is actually the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said actually, and this is described, that verse is here. Prabhupada says, he quotes the verse. Where is it? I can't find it now. It says that in every town and village, his name should be heard, right? So this is actually the mission of Lord Chaitanya, that every town and village, the Lord's name should be heard. So this is actually, we're doing Harinam when we're getting people to chant the holy names. I'm trying to find it. But yes, there's a verse which says that Achadi Nama Gram Hoibi Moranam. I just read it, I can't even find it now. Where is it? I can't remember where it's from. It's from the Chaitanya. I just read it. I can't even remember where I read it now. Lost it. But anyway, so the Lord himself Lord Chaitanya himself is giving us the opportunity to take part in the Sankirtan movement so that we can help him in saving the fallen souls. This is actually the purpose of the Sankirtan movement, is to assist Lord Chaitanya in his movement, because Lord Chaitanya wants everyone delivered. Lord Chaitanya is much more merciful than Lord Krishna, because Krishna asks everyone to surrender unto him, then he will reward them. But Lord Chaitanya is so merciful that people, even although they don't surrender, still the Lord wants to give them the mercy. So he's giving them the holy name. He wants them to get the holy name. He wants them to get some sort of connection with the Hare Krishna movement so that they can get some mercy. And he's delivering everyone through this. There's an interesting story I just read. I heard this is what he was saying, that in Florida, there was one... Shishikotintai Mai Pushashiki Jai. So, just to finish off with this one story, there was one devotee in Florida, and he wasn't like going out in Sankirtan so much, but he would keep some Krishna books in his bag so that whenever he was going somewhere, he would give somebody a Krishna book. But he was on his way to a bookstore to get some books, and he seen this man in a car, so he gave him a Krishna book, and the person was very interested, gave him a donation, took the Krishna book. So this devotee went into the bookshop, and he was looking, and he seen that the man was reading the book, the Krishna book. But then after a few minutes, this car came up, took out some guns, and shot that man that was in the car. And so the devotee went out to see what had happened, and we could see that the man was lying there with the Krishna book on his chest. So just before he left his body, he got the Krishna book, he read from it, and he passed away with the Krishna book on his chest. So, I mean, what were the chances of that happening? You know, this is just an amazing story, because we don't know at the time of death when it's going to come. And this man, he wasn't, you know, conscious that somebody's going to shoot him in a few minutes' time, but he got the book, and Krishna gave him that mercy. So at least he will get a human birth in his next life. So we don't know what's going to happen to somebody on the street we meet. We don't know what situation they're going to be in next in a few minutes' time. So it's so important that they get the chance. That's why the urgency has to be there, that they need that book immediately, because we don't know what's going to happen to them the next minute. You know? So that's why we should be thinking how to distribute these books to people. Any questions or comments? 2 minutes.
I just want to share. Last year, when we had marathon in Perth, also there was this one guy. He seemed to be interested in the religion, so he was collecting like different scriptures. He's been, I think he was in Thailand or maybe something, or Tibet. And so he was very happy to say Bhagavad Gita. He gave donation, and I also taught him like we have this Om Sri Om leaflet, so it's kind of teach you mantra. And he was very like passionate, kind of like before, and it's like kind of walking around. His friends at the back. He was like very active. But when we did like line by line the Maha Mantra, then like his mood completely changed. You know, it was like whoa, you know, and then he just walked away like very peacefully. It was like I was very shocked myself at that at that moment there. So,
yeah, such a powerful effect, because they're chanting without offense. Yeah. So it's Namabas. So they will experience something so amazing, you know, when they first start to chant.
Yeah, I was reading in Chant More by Sri Ram Swami. He was also talking about this, how initially, we're just chanting offensively, but then as we acquire knowledge, then we start making offenses, and then we have to kind of get out of that again. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. But there's my question also is like, is there any against teaching people Maha Mantra instead of just Gauranga? Or
no, you can get them to chant. If you can get them to chant the Maha Mantra, that's amazing. You know, but you know, most people are in a rush, so if you can get somebody to stop and get them to chant the whole mantra, that's amazing. Because at the back of those white books is the Maha Mantra. So you can get people to say the Hare Krishna mantra like that. You can just show the back of the book and say, can you chant this mantra? And chant it with them. So you can try that. That's a good idea. Anything else?
You were mentioning about that after Krishna disappeared, people weren't able to surrender Krishna. But we have these examples as Queen Kunti and Pandavas. They were like very elevated, but then the rest of the people they weren't able to surrender. Then, so in this age of Kali, it's because of Lord Chaitanya only, because we have this, it's basically kind of like Lord Chaitanya is basically feeding us with a spoon, basically, almost like it's like this is how you do it, just follow me,
Yeah. And then also Prabhupada came and he gave us even more mercy. So it's like Prabhupada said, just just do this, and I'll just chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regs, perform devotional service, and you'll go back to Godhead, in one lifetime. So because we're getting special mercy from Srila Prabhupada by doing what we're doing, then we're actually getting more mercy, you see. So it's an amazing path that we've got this process, and because we're connected to Srila Prabhupada, then we're getting special mercy, even more, So you can't get any better than this sort of thing, You can't get any more mercy than this. Is that okay? Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give class. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shishikotan Taimai Pushashi ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Guys, Jaggannath Priya Devi ki.